Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm gonna cover my first point of self-improvement. It's gonna be not the coolest or the most manly, but it's about reading books. I'm gonna cover all the books I've read. There's only three. So the first one I read, I don't have it right now because I borrowed it to a friend so he could read it, is The Way of the Superior Man. The second one I read is The Magic of Thinking Big. That's this one. And the one I'm reading now is How to Win Friends and Influence People. These are three common books, and I'm gonna explain why I like them and what I didn't like about them and what I learned. And maybe you guys can read them too, because there's definitely some useful info in these. First of all, why do you need to read books? Most people that start self-improvement are like, reading is for nerds, I'm not gonna do that, but I'll highly recommend you guys start reading, because it gives you discipline, you get better focus on things, because you need to focus if you're reading. You can't just read through it, you have to remember what you read to learn something from it. So that's why it's useful. Now I'll explain the books I read. So the first one is The Way of the Superior Man. It's a wonderful book. I'm telling you, 10 out of 10. If you start reading, definitely a top 3 starter. If you read it, you'll get more knowledge on how the polarization between men and women work, because most of the young men right now are in between, and that's bad. They need to go to more the manly side, and female need to be more feminine. So you need each other actually, because now everyone's in the middle, and then you're more like friends, because you are quite equally. People say like feminism is talking about everyone has to be equal, but it doesn't work like that, because now relationships are based on friendship and just liking each other, but you don't have needs from each other. So if there's one really masculine man and a feminine woman, they need each other's energy to like, yeah, to work. So that's what you learn in that book. And so the second book I read, this was my least favorite so far, but it's about thinking big, and you have to set big goals. That's obvious. But I've read the entire book, but I'm only 16 years old, and I don't speak English as a mother language, and it has quite a lot of difficult words in them. And yeah, it's a good book, and you learn a lot from it, but it's not the best. You could read it, but I won't say you have to read it as the first book, but it helps you grow your mindset and tell yourself like, I can achieve something, I can be millionaire when I'm 20 or something. And if you believe it, you will make it. So that's what this book's about. And now I'm reading How to Win Friends and Influence People, and I really like this book as well. So I think my favorite book is The Way of the Superior Man, so the first book. And this is my second favorite book out of the three of them. This book actually, it really explains. So you have in the back of the book, wait, let me show you guys. Here you have notes, and you have notes, and you just can say like, I learned this in this chapter, this in this chapter, and then later on, if you have like read the books 6 months ago and you don't know what it was, you don't want to read the entire book again, so you just go to the notes and you check it. So that's really useful. And they also explain in the start of the book, before the story, like the book actually starts, they explain how to read it and what you will learn from it. And it's all short chapters for like 10-15 pages, so that's really nice. So you can just read a chapter or maybe two if you have a lot of time a day. And then you also note in the back of the book, you scribe your notes here. It's quite a weird book, because it's always like you have a chapter, and for example, let me say a random chapter here. Let me find one. Here. There's the end. On the end of the book, there will always be the lesson that you had to learn. And in this one, it's give honest and sincere appreciation. So then the author always tells like four. The author always tells 4 or 5 stories where he accomplished something really big just because he showed appreciation in this case. And you'll always get stories, and then because he did something, he achieved something, and then it will be like 5 different stories with the same outcome. So that it's a little boring, but then you understand how it works, and you just note it uh, in the back of the book, and you'll learn a lot from it. But I like it's really it's a chill moment for me now to read, because I just can actually I read some little stories and I learn something about them with it. So I really like this book. This was a short video because I've only read 3 books so far. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.